It is finally here. October 4th has arrived, and with it comes a surge of spiritual electricity that no chosen one can ignore. This day is not another ordinary mark on the calendar, not another weekend passing by in routine. This is a divine appointment, sealed in heaven long before your spirit was even aware of it. Today, the veil between realms thins, and what was once hidden begins to surface. Secrets, long buried in shadows, press against the walls of your awareness, and the tests that have been quietly building in the background of your life reach their breaking point on this very day. Chosen one, pause for a moment and let this truth sink in. October 4th is not coincidence, it is alignment. It is the day heaven places a spotlight on your soul's path, showing you what is real and what is counterfeit. And before we go further, I want you to do two sacred things right now. Subscribe so you never miss the revelations being poured out in this season, and comment 999 below as your manifestation code. That number is not just digits, it is a declaration that you are stepping into divine completion and heavenly alignment. It is your sign to the universe and to heaven itself that you are ready for what comes next. This is no message for the casual listener. This is not for those who scroll by without listening to the whispers of their soul. This word is for the chosen ones, for the awakened ones, for those who feel that their very existence is a part of a greater design. October 4th has been marked as a day of unveiling, a day where the illusions surrounding you begin to crack, where the masks fall off, and where your discernment is sharpened like a blade. But here's the weight of this moment. The battleground is not somewhere far away. It is not in the world of politics, nor in distant lands, nor among strangers whose names you don't know. The battleground is close. It is in your circle. It is in your family. It is in your friendships. It is in the whispers of your own heart. And sometimes, the very person you trusted most, the one who smiled at you, encouraged you, walked beside you, may become the vessel through which God tests your patience, your discernment, and your faith. For too long, many of you have carried relationships that no longer align with your divine purpose. For too long, you have spoken secrets into ears that were never meant to hold them. For too long, you have excused red flags because loyalty blinded you, or because comfort chained you, or because your heart chose illusion over clarity. But October 4th will not allow blindness any longer. Today demands vision. Today requires discernment. And so you must decide, will you continue to trust blindly, clinging to the familiar, or will you lean fully into the Spirit of God and finally see what has been whispering to you all along? This is your line in the sand. This is your proving ground. October 4th is a day of awakening, and heaven is calling you to rise above appearances, to see beyond the mask, to recognize the test that has been standing right in front of you, embodied by someone you thought was safe. Chosen one, listen carefully. Your greatest test will not come from the obvious enemy. It will not come from the stranger who mocks you. It will not come from the critic who openly doubts you. No, your greatest test comes from the ones closest to your heart, from those who know your secrets, from those whose words weigh heavy because you trust them. That is why this day carries so much weight. God allows the test to come close, not to break you, but to refine you. This is not about paranoia. This is not about suspicion. It is about discernment. God is sharpening your spirit so that you can hear His voice above every other voice, even the voices you love most. For if you can see the truth when it comes dressed in comfort, if you can discern what is real when it arrives wrapped in loyalty, then you are ready to carry the mantle of destiny that heaven has placed upon your shoulders. The enemy knows he cannot destroy you from the outside, so he tries to come closer. He tries to use the familiar, the trusted, the loved. He tries to whisper through intimacy and break you with silence. But what the enemy plots to use against you, God will use to reveal. That is why October 4th is a day of revelation. Some of you already feel it, the strange unease in the air, the subtle shift in energy when certain people walk into the room, the way conversations leave you unsettled even when the words sound the same. That is not imagination. That is the Spirit of God pressing against your awareness. For weeks, maybe months, you've been sensing it. Dreams you couldn't shake, flashes of intuition, sudden moments of heaviness you could not explain. That was heaven's way of preparing you. And now October 4th arrives not as a beginning, but as an unveiling. The signs have been there all along, but now they will be undeniable. The first sign will not come as thunder. It will not arrive as an earthquake. It will whisper. It will come in the silence of someone you trusted most. The person who once celebrated your victories will now withhold their applause. The one who lifted you up may suddenly step back, watching instead of cheering. Pay attention to the silence. It is not random. Silence is a language, and heaven speaks through it. Their quiet withdrawal is not just about them, it is about you. It is about whether you can feel the shift in spirit behind the smile, whether you can discern when the energy around you no longer matches your calling. This silence is not betrayal, it is revelation. God is answering the prayers you once cried. You asked Him to show you who was truly for you. You begged Him for clarity. And clarity rarely comes in comfort. Sometimes revelation must sting before it heals. Sometimes truth must break your illusion before it sets you free. Chosen ones, as October 4th unfolds, the veil does not just reveal silence, it reveals something far more subtle and far more dangerous. The second sign does not come in the form of absence, but in the form of presence, a presence that feels like love, but carries within it the weight of resistance. This is opposition dressed in care, chains disguised as concern. At first, it may sound harmless, even tender. Someone close to you, someone you deeply respect, will look into your eyes and say, "I just don't want you to get hurt." Their words will feel like compassion, their tone will feel soft, but underneath it is a seed of doubt, a hesitation that was never planted by heaven. It begins to sound like advice, but it carries the undertone of fear. And fear never comes from God. Understand this truth. If the enemy cannot silence you, he will try to slow you. If he cannot stop your rise, he will attempt to bind your feet with invisible threads of hesitation. He knows he cannot confront you directly because your spirit has already grown too strong. So he cloaks the resistance in love. He wraps discouragement in soft tones and presents it as wisdom. But chosen ones, discernment must cut deeper than appearances. This is one of the hardest tests to face, because if someone openly opposed you, if someone mocked your calling or laughed at your vision, you would see it clearly. You would resist it with fire. You would call it what it is. But when resistance comes wrapped in love, when caution disguises itself as care, it slips past the gates of your heart. It makes you question yourself. It makes you wonder if maybe you are rushing, if maybe the vision you saw in prayer was just imagination. This is the second sign of October 4th, when those closest to you begin to plant seeds of hesitation into the soil of your destiny. They do not realize they are being used. They may even believe they are protecting you. But understand, the spirit behind their words is not aligned with heaven's plan. God has already spoken to you. He already confirmed your assignment. He already whispered the vision into your soul. And if their words inspire fear, hesitation, or doubt against what God already established, then those words are not from Him, no matter whose lips speak them. Chosen ones, this is not a call to hate. This is not a call to sever every bond. This is a call to discern. The person is not the enemy. but the enemy may be using their voice. The test is not designed to expose them as wicked, but to strengthen you to be steadfast. This is why so many of you have felt misunderstood. This is why conversations that once lifted your spirit now leave you uneasy. This is why you walk away from people you love with heaviness in your chest. It is because God is teaching you to measure every word you receive, not against history, not against emotion, but against His promise, against His Spirit, against His voice that never changes. Think carefully. What happens inside you when someone you love questions your dream? Do you shrink back? Do you second-guess the very thing God revealed to you? Or do you rise, reminding yourself that their concern cannot outweigh heaven's command? That is the real test. Because true faith is not walking when everyone agrees. True faith is walking when the very people you trust most tell you to turn back. And this is why October 4th is so important. God is not raising people pleasers. He is not raising those who crumble at the sound of doubt. He is raising kingdom leaders, unshakable warriors, chosen ones who can hear His voice above every other voice, even the ones wrapped in affection. Let me be clear, this is not easy. Love itself can become the heaviest chain if it is not guided by wisdom. A parent, a spouse, a friend, they may speak from their own fear. They may carry wounds that you do not see, and in trying to protect you from pain, they unknowingly hinder you from progress. This is what October 4th teaches. Not every "I care about you" is aligned with God's care for you. Not every "be careful" comes from a place of divine wisdom. Sometimes those words come from fear, sometimes from jealousy, sometimes from wounds never healed. And heaven allows this moment to sharpen your ear, to teach you how to filter voices. Chosen one, do not despise the test. Do not despise the person. Recognize that even this is mercy. For if you can remain steady when the ones closest to you hesitate, then you have proven that your anchor is not in man, it is in God alone. Remember this, the second sign is not about exposing others, it is about proving you. It is about showing you to yourself. It is about revealing whether your confidence is in applause or in the Spirit, whether your obedience depends on agreement or stands firm even in isolation. This is why many of you have been feeling isolated lately. Your circle has grown smaller. Your companionships have been stripped away. Do not mistake this for punishment. This is preparation. God is preparing you to walk alone so that when the moment comes, when the second sign arrives disguised as care, you will not crumble. You will not bow to fear. You will stand firm, declaring, "I believe what God told me, even if no one else does." So, chosen one, as this Saturday unfolds, take notice. Do not dismiss the words that leave you restless. Do not cover the unease with excuses. Test every voice against the Spirit of God. If peace does not follow the counsel, then it is not divine counsel. If fear follows the advice, then it is not heavenly wisdom. This is the sword of discernment being placed in your hand. October 4th demands clarity. October 4th demands strength. October 4th demands that you recognize the difference between love that lifts and love that chains. And once you see it, do not retreat in fear. Do not grow bitter. Do not argue endlessly. Simply anchor yourself in the Word of God and move forward. Some of you have felt it for years. A subtle shift when your name is mentioned, a quiet tension when you share your blessings, an unseen heaviness when your light grows brighter. But you pushed it aside, convincing yourself it was just your imagination. You told yourself you were being too sensitive. You silenced your spirit in favor of comfort. But the Spirit of God has never lied to you. What you felt was real. That unease was discernment knocking at your door. And today, October 4th, heaven refuses to let you ignore it anymore. Hidden competition is the hardest to recognize because it rarely speaks aloud. It wears a mask of celebration while secretly resenting your growth. It smiles in public, but aches in private. It pretends to support you while subtly shifting the spotlight back onto itself. And while the words may sound encouraging, your spirit catches the tone, the hesitation, the shift. You feel it in your chest. You sense it in the atmosphere. That is not paranoia, that is discernment. And yet, chosen ones, here lies the deeper truth. This test is not about exposing them, it is about refining you. God allows you to see the rivalry, not so you can attack it, not so you can hate them, but so that your spirit can rise above it. Because when you can sense jealousy and still walk in love, when you can feel hidden competition and still stay focused on your purpose, you prove to heaven that your calling is anchored in Him, not in the approval of people. Think of it this way. Jealousy is silent betrayal. It does not stab you openly. It does not announce itself with words. It lingers in the shadows, waiting for a moment of weakness. And yet, even in that silence, your spirit knows. And that knowing is a gift. Because God will never allow you to step into the fullness of your destiny surrounded by counterfeit support. He reveals this sign as protection. On October 4th, you may notice conversations take strange turns. Someone may minimize your success with a half smile. Someone may try to one-up your story with their own. Someone may shift the attention off your blessing and back onto themselves. Do not be surprised. Do not be shaken. This is the unveiling. This is the third sign. Heaven is showing you plainly what your spirit already knew. But hear me clearly. This sign is not a call to cut everyone off in anger. It is a call to redefine. It is a call to set boundaries. You may still love them, but you must love with wisdom. You may still walk with them, but you must walk with caution. You may still speak with them, but you cannot give them access to the sacred places of your heart where destiny is formed. Discernment is not about isolation, it is about wisdom. Chosen one, understand this. The higher you climb, the harder it becomes for others to celebrate you. Elevation always exposes hearts. Some people have not dealt with their own wounds. They have not healed their own disappointments. And when they see your rise, it confronts their pain. They may not even realize they are competing with you, but their spirit wrestles with your light. And God allows you to see this not to destroy the relationship, but to mature your vision. This is why October 4th is sacred. It is stripping away illusions. It is pulling back the curtain. It is teaching you that your worth does not decrease because someone else resents it. Your calling does not shrink because someone else envies it. Your blessing is not smaller because someone else cannot celebrate it. Their rivalry is not your problem, it is their wound. But heaven uses it as your training. So do not grow bitter, chosen one. Do not waste your energy trying to convince them to love you purely. Do not beg them to see you correctly. Because what God placed inside you cannot be undone by silent competition. It cannot be stolen by hidden envy. It cannot be dimmed by false smiles. Their rivalry does not diminish your anointing. It only confirms it. For the enemy would not stir jealousy around you if you were not carrying something worth envying. And so the third sign arrives not to break you, but to build you. It teaches you to stand firm without seeking validation. It teaches you to shine your light without apology. It teaches you to walk boldly into your calling, even when the room is filled with silent opposition. Because the truth is, chosen one, your assignment is not a contest. Your destiny is not a race. Your crown has your name on it, and no hidden rivalry can touch it. So pay attention today. Notice the shifts, recognize the unease, accept the revelation, and then rise above it. Do not lower your light to ease their discomfort. Do not dim your fire to make their shadows feel less exposed. Stand tall, shine brighter, love wisely, protect your spirit, and move forward without delay. Chosen ones, October 4th is not an ending, it is a crossing point. This is the day heaven places the key in your hand and asks if you are ready to step into the assignment prepared for you since the foundation of the world. The silence, the hesitation, the rivalry, they were never meant to destroy you. They were meant to reveal you. They were meant to prove that you can stand even when others shift, that you can rise even when others retreat, that you can love wisely while refusing to bow to fear. Today is your threshold. Do not circle the same mountain again. Do not waste the fire by shrinking back. Lift your head, steady your heart, and walk forward. For God has not called you to be small, but to be a living sign that light cannot be hidden even when the sky turns black. And remember the words of Machiavelli: the lion cannot protect himself from traps, and the fox cannot defend himself from wolves. One must therefore be a fox to recognize traps and a lion to frighten wolves. Chosen one, heaven has made you both. If you've come this far, this prayer is for you. Heavenly Father, I thank you for making this day a sign, a test, and a doorway to elevation. Teach me patience in silence, wisdom in words, and clarity in the midst of hidden rivalry. Fill my heart not with bitterness, but with love, not with fear, but with unshakable faith. Unveil what has been hidden. Let my ears hear the whispers of heaven, and steady my steps in your light. Grant me the cunning of the fox to discern traps and the courage of the lion to face every wolf, so that no shadow can dim my fire and no chain can hold my destiny.